One of the teachings that I call on when I'm in a tender time comes from a Tantric text called the Pratyabhijnahrdayam. And the verse, it says, through the expansion of the middle, consciousness and bliss is attained. That's the translation of the verse. But it uses this Sanskrit word madhya to refer to the middle. And there's so many teachings, so many deep meditations, so many different ways to explore this teaching in an esoteric way, in an inner way, in practice. But my teachers have also taught me this other way to look at the teaching, other way to interpret it, where everything has a middle. And that every moment in life, although it seems like it's continuous, is actually a little fragment. It's like an act in a play with many, many, many acts. And that after every moment, you could say, the curtain closes and then it opens again into the next act, whatever it may be. I take refuge in this teaching because it's a way for me to understand in a very practical way the teaching of impermanence. Impermanence. It's Eastern Spirituality 101. But for me, even as a seasoned practitioner, impermanence is one of the most important things that I'll call upon in a hard time, because no hard time is going to last forever. And in any given moment, we can wake up and we can have this moment where we're in between. We can step out. We can step off. We can get out of the fray, off the stage, reconnect to what's true, and then enter the next moment. Maybe the hard situation will still be there in the next act, and maybe even the next act. But it's not going to go on forever. And in the meantime, we can learn to find that middle, find that gap, and take refuge there. It's the same thing when we learn to find the gap in between our breath, in between the in-breath and the out-breath, and the out-breath and the in-breath. That's a way to practice. We can find the gap between thoughts. Thoughts are not continuous either. We think a thought, then there's a gap, and then there's another thought. The gap might be very small, but we can learn to get in there. That's what this teaching, that's what this verse is talking about also. So if I had to choose one teaching, that would be one of them. The other one comes from another tantric text called the Shiva Sutra. In the Shiva Sutra, it says, Natarka Atman, which means that Atman, my soul, my eternal self, is an actor. It's a performer. It takes on a role. It goes on that stage with many acts and performs. It plays the role of a dad. It plays the role of a man. It plays the role of so many things in my case. But ultimately, none of those things are really me. So in those hard times, when I'm not in the middle, when I'm on the stage, in other words, I'm not backstage in between acts. I'm right in the battle scene. I'm right in the tragedy scene. I'm right in the comedy scene, whatever it is. I can take refuge in that it's not really me, not on that deepest level. I'm playing a role. My soul is doing a dance. My soul is, Ram Dass likes to say, is just God in drag. So when I am in my tender times, those are two tantric teachings that I like to tether myself to. More later. Keep up the good work.